Whew. Hey guys, how's it going? Dudey here. I'm back with another video. In today's video, we're talking about Andy. Yep, Prince Andrew. Now, there has been an update in his case. As we all know, the man is friends with Epstein, but he has been flexing his power as a royal over the last 5 years to avoid prosecution. One of the victims has filed a US lawsuit against him, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, for those of you that have been living under a rock since forever and don't know who Prince Andrew is, basically he is one of Queen Elizabeth's sons, one of her younger sons. Even if I think he was next in line, I think due to how the public receive him, I don't think he would fare too well or too long on the throne. But he has given some insane interviews, namely the one that really sticks out to a lot of people is the one that he did, I believe, as Newsnight for the BBC. I implore you to go and watch it. There is actually a YouTube channel that did like a body language analysis of him and what he was saying, which is fascinating. It's an amazing video, so go and watch that. But it's, of course, where he famously, said that he had a condition where he couldn't sweat because one of the victims said that he sweated profusely during sexual intercourse, and he said, well, that's impossible because I don't sweat, it is a condition, but he was never diagnosed with it, and it is absolute bollocks. He claims that it is from when he saw action in the Falklands and a bullet whizzed past his head. Apparently it fucked with all of his glands, and so he couldn't sweat no more because he was just constantly adrenaline pumping, which yeah, cool story, bro. And also that he couldn't have been with a certain girl because on a certain specific date he was at a Pizza Express in Woking, which is very memorable for him because he's a prince and they don't do that kind of, normal person scum things like go to Pizza Express in Woking, which of course just created so many memes. The poor workers at Pizza Express in Woking were inundated with memes and Google reviews online, which was quite funny. But yeah, so there's just a lot of bullshit and excuses that came out of Prince Andrew's mouth, including, when you found out that Epstein had all these charges against him, he was like, well, in my kind of circle, you have to go and see the person to break off a relationship, to break off a friendship. You don't do it over the phone. It's like paying respect to a man who is raped children. But okay, Andrew, you do you. But not only did he go over to New York to in person end his friendship with Epstein, he also felt it necessary to, for some reason, stay at Epstein's house for a week after ending his apparent friendship with Epstein. It's all very sus. He's guilty as fucking sin, and he's just being protected by the monarchy, which is insane to me in this day and age. But anyway, let's have a look. It's an article by MSN. It came out today as of recording, and it's all about this lawsuit. So it says, US lawsuit filed against Prince Andrew over alleged sex abuse. A lawsuit has been filed in the US accusing Prince Andrew of sexually abusing Virginia Giuffre. I hope I pronounced her name right. If I didn't, I apologize. According to one of her lawyers, Ms. Giuffre says she was a victim of financier and convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. She claims she was made to have sex with Prince Andrew when she was 17, but he has always categorically denied any sexual contact or relationship with her. Ms. Giuffre's lawyer, David Bois, confirmed to Sky News that a lawsuit had been filed on Monday afternoon in a federal court in Manhattan. It alleges the prince abused Ms. Giuffre on 3 occasions when she was under 18, nearly 2 decades ago. It claims on one occasion she was forced to have sexual intercourse with Andrew against her will at the London home of Ghislaine Maxwell, who of course is currently in jail and is going on trial, I believe, in November. Now, it'd be quite interesting. Will Ghislaine Maxwell try and sell, say, Prince Andrew out in order to get a more lenient sentence? We'll have to wait and see, but either way, it's going to be a shit show. On another occasion, he sexually abused Ms. Giuffre in Epstein's New York mansion, the lawsuit alleges, as well as on a private island that Epstein owned. The court documents say the plaintiff was initially recruited to provide massages and thereafter to engage in a variety of sexual acts for Epstein. If you want more of a deep dive on Epstein, I have done that on this channel. Just type in Dudey Rhino Epstein. I broke down the Netflix documentary, which is like 4 hours long. I broke it down to 30 minutes. So if you want to, go and check that out for a more detailed look at Epstein's web of just to look at Epstein. It's fucking horrible. But if that's what you want to do, go check it out. It goes on to say that she was regularly abused by Epstein and was lent out by him to other powerful men for sexual purposes. One such powerful man to whom the plaintiff was lent out for sexual purposes was the defendant, Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, the documents allege. Prince Andrew's representatives said they had no comment on the latest developments. Of course they don't, because he's guilty as fucking sin. Sky's royal correspondent, Rhiannon Mills, said, "This story simply is not going away. The allegation won't go away despite the fact that Prince Andrew was repeatedly denied even meeting Virginia Roberts and also the palace over the years, saying the claims are false and without foundation." Claims that he never met her. There's literally a picture of him at a party with his arm around her. Fucking hell. I think what is interesting is that this is the first lawsuit specifically against the Duke of York. This is what makes this different, specifically targeting Prince Andrew. She added, "It seems difficult to think that his lawyers in some way won't have to respond. In our country, no person, whether president or prince, is above the law, and no person, no matter how powerless or vulnerable, can be deprived of the law's protection," said Mr. Bois. Over the past 5 years, Prince Andrew and his advisors have stonewalled every attempt to resolve this matter without litigation. It is now long past the time for him to be held to account. Ms. Giuffre said in a statement that the lawsuit was brought under the Child Victim Act to allege she was trafficked to him and sexually abused by him. "I am holding Prince Andrew accountable for what he did to me," she said. "The powerful and rich are not exempt from being held responsible for their actions. I hope that other victims will see that it is possible not to live in silence and fear, but to reclaim one's life by speaking out and demanding justice. I did not come to this decision lightly," she added. "As a mother and a wife, my family comes first, and I know that this action will subject me to further attacks by Prince Andrew and his surrogates. But I knew if I did not pursue this action, I would be letting them and the victims everywhere down." In a BBC Newsnight interview in 2019, which is what I mentioned earlier, Prince Andrew said that he had never had sex with Ms. Giuffre, saying, "I can absolutely categorically tell you, it never happened." The Duke said he had no recollection of ever meeting her and that there were a number of things that are wrong about her account. He has also suggested a photo showing him with his arm around Giuffre may have been doctored. Of course it was, Andy. Of course it was. Epstein, 66, killed himself in jail in August 2019, a month after being detained on sex trafficking charges. I think that is bullshit. Epstein definitely did not kill himself. He was killed by the elite. Come on now. Wake up, people. Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested in an FBI raid last July and has pleaded not guilty to sex trafficking charges in the US. She faces trial in November. So very interesting. So this lawsuit is specifically targeting Prince Andrew, which means it's not like in a collective under like this Epstein umbrella. So that means that his lawyers will have a rough time avoiding this one, and hopefully finally this man will be put on trial for the stuff that he just so blatantly did. You know, just watch the Newsnight interview. It is fascinating, and the best thing is about that interview is he asked to do it himself. He honestly thought that he could lie and dupe the public by tackling these questions head on with blatant, barefaced lies. It's honestly a spectacle. And you can just see minute by minute how he realises just how much he has fucked up. But yeah, let me know down below what you guys think. Are you a fan of the royals? If you are a fan of the royals, I want to ask you a question, because you know, if you're big into your royals, what is your opinion on Prince Andrew? You know, are you like just blindly defending him, or are you thinking, you know, does it affect your love for the royal family, the fact that they are protecting a paedophile? Do let me know, please, please, please. I personally, you know, I'm not one for the monarchy or anything like that. The royals do nothing for me. I think it's an archaic system, to be honest, that could easily be abolished, but that's just me. I'm sure people will have 1,000 reasons why I'm wrong. But when, you know, when you're defending and stopping the prosecution of a paedophile, you know, you gotta kind of question their morals, you know? So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. That is the lawsuit. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled and see what happens here. Also in November, that Ghislaine Maxwell trial, I will definitely be keeping my eyes on that. I'll probably be covering it on this channel, so do keep your eyes out for that one. If you could hit that like button, share this video, subscribe to me, that would be amazing. If you want to support me, there are plenty of ways to do that down in the description box, so you can go and have a look at that if you like. But if not, the best thing for me is that you've come here and you've watched this video. So thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you very soon. Sweet one, geese.